Oh my gosh. All right. Hi everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, what's happening? All right. So we are talking Australia. Can you hear me? Hi Daniel. Hi everyone. Thank you for coming. Even though we're a little bit late, or rather late. It's okay. We'll be quick. All right. Yes, we can hear. Yes. Hello. Damilola. Yes. So, the question we are treating today, but if you have your question, you can drop it as we go on. Okay, as we go on. So the question we are talking today is, yeah, I want to migrate to Australia. This is a common question I receive. Yeah, it's big, it's huge. This question is really very huge. And when you drop this question for me on the DM, I don't know where to start. It's kind of, there's a lot of things to say. And when you say to me, hello, I want to migrate to Australia, I want to move to Australia from this country, from Nigeria, from Philippines, from UK, from anywhere, from Kenya, from Zimbabwe, from India, and please help me, or how do I migrate to Australia? Sometimes I refer people back to my videos, at least to have an idea. You know, it's always important to know the country you want to migrate to, the processes. And sometimes some people will be reluctant because they just want me to talk or type, you know. Then the question is, where do I start? Like, because first of all, you need to know your profile. So when you want to migrate to Australia, one thing I want to tell you first is that Australia is one of those countries that you cannot just get anyhow visa to move to. Arrange visa, okay? It has to be authentic, okay? And for your visa to be authentic, there are things that are required depending on the visa, okay? That's why I always say every Australian visa is online, like the requirement, the link. Department of Home Affairs, I will also drop the link to the Department of Home Affairs website under the description section of this video or on the comment section, okay? So when you meet these agents that promise these visas, ask them the name of the visa they want to give you, just the code. The code. You see my videos, I always talk about code, visa 190, visa 400, visa 407, 407, visa 600, even student visa, every of the Australian visa, even visitors visa, visa 600, study visa, visa 500, 491, 482, 400, that's it. All you need to ask the agent is just give me the code. Like, I just want to know the code of the visa. You know the code, you go online and search whether you are qualified. If there is one of the requirements, one or two requirements you know that you don't have, and the agent knows you don't have it, ask the agent, how am I going to meet up with these requirements? You have rights to ask that question. Maybe they will do a miracle for you. Okay. So when you ask me that question, hi, Chindo. Juliana, hi. All right, so when you say to me, I want to migrate to Australia, there are two things. One thing first is, which visa are you qualified for? Because it is visa we are talking about here, is it not? So we're talking about visa, there must be a visa. Oh my gosh, this thing wanted to fall. All right, so there must be visa, is it not? We're talking about visa here because you cannot migrate to Australia without visa. So the question should be, which visa am I qualified for? And for you to know the visa you're qualified for, at least there must be a profile, is it not? You talk about your age, okay? Most of Australian visas will require you to be 45 years and younger, okay? 45 years and younger. However, there are visas that you can be more than 45 years, like visa 482 and so on. And student visa, yes, you can be more than 45 and apply for student visa. And you can be more than 45 and apply for which visa is that? 482, which we'll be talking about every time. So I'm waking up from sleep. You can see that. All right. So your age apart. Now let's talk about this visa. Does it require qualification? Okay. Does it require for you to have diploma, degree, or trade certificate, or just only experience? Most of the time, only experience cannot get you a skilled visa in Australia. Is experience and qualification. Okay, so they go together. Experience, qualification, they go together. Then if you must not have a degree, it must not be university degree. I keep telling people this. It must not be university degree. Sometimes trade certificates, as long as you have trade certificates. The problem we have in some parts of Africa or Asia is that we do all this trade, but we don't have approved certificates. Okay, for example, someone will say, I'm a carpenter. I learned carpenter maybe in a school or somewhere, but or maybe I don't have a certificate, but some countries now give certificate. I know South Africa has trade certificate like TEF, their VET, okay, vocational training colleges. Some countries have started having that now. If I tell you that someone that did carpentry or plumbing or mechanic in a vocational college can easily migrate to another country, even Australia, Canada. I don't know about UK and others, but I'm sure of Canada because they have pathway, and Australia too have a pathway for these people, okay? They can easily migrate because they don't write professional exams. Their English will be general, like 4 or 4.5 and 5, which is easy to get, okay? So if you don't have, someone said, okay, you say you are a dressmaker or a tailor, but you don't have a trade certificate. The question I want you to always ask yourself is that, how would these people, remember you are going overseas, someone overseas is bringing you over, an employer, how would they know that I am a tailor? How would they know that I'm a carpenter? How would they know that I am a mechanic? How would they know that I'm a nurse? How would they know that I'm a healthcare assistant? How would they know that I am a chef, an accountant, and so on? The only way they will know is that they have a proof. Okay, so you can tell them you have all these things, but if they don't have a proof, and that proof is your qualification and your experience, does it make sense? So when you tell me that you have 10 years experience, but now my question is, which certificate do you have? And you say you don't have certificate. There is no way this thing will go through. However, in some of the visas, for example, you studied, how will I give the example now? Okay, let's assume that you studied something else in the university. Okay, let's say you studied accounting. Okay, but after graduation, or maybe you've worked in an accounting firm, or you're not working, or you never worked, fine, you went into farming. Okay, you went into farming. You can come to Australia not as fruit picker, not as farmhand. I keep telling people from Africa, people from some Asian countries, run away from that mentality that you can come to Australia as a fruit picker, a farmhand. It's not happening. It has never happened. Okay, I don't know who is telling you that. The YouTubers can make videos to have views, but this is not real. It's not real. It's not from this part of the world. Okay, so truck. Another thing I want to say is that if you want to migrate, someone said IELTS, can I have a visa without IELTS? Yes, there are visas you can have without writing English. One of those, I will shock you now, is student visa. Okay, I know many of you think that you must write IELTS for student visa. I made video here and I've shown you some universities in Australia where you can study without English. And when the school does not require English, Those are high-tech school, like high standard schools, grade 1 schools, a group of 8 mostly. So if, hi, watching from the city, Ama, how are you? All right, Mabukang, how are you? Watching from, I've seen someone watching from Zambia, watching from Lesotho, and so on, watching from Nairobi as well. Welcome, all of you. Okay, so let's go back to our analogy. Okay, so but there must be qualification, even though it doesn't match your current skills. Okay, there is a way you would do it, but there must be a qualification. Does it make sense? The analogy I'm using is to say that, okay, you studied accounting in the uni, but you're not practicing as an accountant, or you've practiced but your current experience is not accounting. Okay, boom, you came out to start doing farming, crop farming or animal farming or whatever type of farming you are doing, or farm management. Okay, these are the skills that are also needed in Australia. Thank you, Tabongo. Master Klana. I lived in South Africa before, so I can pronounce those words. All right. So you can do skill assessment as a crop farmer that you are currently doing, because you already have a background qualification, though is an accounting qualification that is not linked to agriculture. Okay, so the way they do it in your skill assessment is that they will draw some years. Okay, they take 3 years from your experience and use it and match, or 5 years and use it and match as, okay, now they will say, okay, now you now have qualification in farming or in agriculture. Okay, so you must have at least 5 years experience for you to embark on this type of transfer of whatever it is called. Okay, so they take some experience and match it there and you go, but there is no how you would do it without qualification. Okay, so if you don't have qualification, you don't have certain skill that will be needed for employer to employ you, or for you to go for skill visas and so on. So what I will advise you to do is see if you can go through study route. Okay, study route may be your best bet. Is expensive, but not too expensive, because you can get a sponsor. Depending on who is your agent. Some agents don't get involved with sponsorship and helping with finance or support, any kind of support. Why some may decide to support, I don't know. So it depends on who you meet. Okay. All right. But one thing I want you to know is that when you are going through study route, you don't have to pay all the school fees. You pay some and you leave some out. Okay. So let's go back to this visa 400. There is a visa I made a video on a few weeks back. Visa 400 is a specialist visa or something. People are using it to come to Australia, but I was very specific. I said it is a 6 months visa, higher 6 months, and you can never renew it, but you can move to a different visa. People are coming with it. They either move to visa 482 later or visa 491, which is also temporary resident visa. Okay, but the thing is this: because an employer is not sponsoring you, but employer will give what? Recommendation. Okay, that they want this person, and there must be a position you are coming to occupy, and this position cannot be filled locally. Okay, so if you're looking for visa 400 and you are a fruit picker or administrative person, and so on, it won't work, because that is not, I always tell you the truth, this is not the kind of skill an Australian employer is looking for from overseas. Anybody can do that job. Okay, anybody can do that job, so you won't be looking for that kind of visa, or hoping you will get that kind of visa. I don't think it's possible. Okay, another thing I want to talk about, getting a job. I keep telling you that people, I keep smashing it. When you are looking for international job, you should know that it will never be easy. I cannot lie to you, it can never be easy. It's hard, but you can be successful. You can get the job because people are getting it. Okay, people are getting it even from your own country. Stop telling me the thing I know, kind of things you do when I make video, and I don't exclude any country. There was a video if I make a video that excludes some countries also, or even scholarship, I always say it. This is one good thing I do in my videos. I don't give people false hope. If you watch that video fully, you will see that I have mentioned that this is for people from this country, and then you know whether you are included or excluded. If I don't mention that thing in a video, don't come and tell me, can someone from Nigeria, can someone from Kenya, why are you excluding yourself when you have not been excluded? Why do you think you are a lesser person? Why? You know? So that's kind of attitude. And I see people that are overqualified for certain visas, and the kind of question they ask you, like, do you really know who you are? Do you really know what you have? When I ask them question and they tell me their profiles, I'm like, do you know what you got? Okay. People should stop deceiving you that they've made 50 this thing. I made they've made 50 application, 100 application, and they are not getting it. Okay. No. Caregiver cannot apply for visa 400. Do you know why? It is a skill. It is a scarce skill in Australia. I will tell you that for sure. Caregiver is a scarce skill in Australia, but it cannot go for visa 400. I said it, and people have asked me that question. I keep telling them the truth. Do you know why? Because when the government allow Australian employers to bring caregivers, they gave them a specific visa. That is visa 482. And they made a pathway for skill assessment. That is why you cannot go through visa 400. Because going through visa 400 means that you won't go through skill assessment and so on. Okay, but they want that. That's why they made it specific. That, thank you, watching from Dubai. Thank you, Hassan. So you cannot go with caregiver. You cannot go through visa 400 as a caregiver. No, it won't happen. It can only be visa 482. I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's the truth. Okay. Now, I had a recent situation where I made a video with a collaboration with another YouTuber, and under the video we were talking about visa 482, visa 400, visa 491, different type of visa, and giving people perspective on how to approach these visas and the requirements and how to go about it. And this person came under the video and talk about how he or she had made 100 application, that this is not possible, so is not playing. Then when I saw it, oh my gosh, listen, keep falling. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So it was about after a few days I saw that comment. I was like, no, it's not really good to make such comments and discourage people. And you know the life we live today, people are easily discouraged on social media. Be careful how you make these comments and generalize. So I took it upon myself. I said, please, can you tell me the job you've been looking for and all these things? So he said he has masters and said so many things. I don't know whether it's master's qualification in office administration. And another one, I can't remember another one, is talk about driver or something. Farm hand, yes. He has skill in farm hand. You know what is farm hand? People that help farmers in there. Okay. So after she said that, and I said, thank you for responding, but office administration, okay? Hi, welcome, Dijo, Fopa, what, Grace, watching from Cameroon. Thank you for coming. Office administration is not a scarce skill. Do you know that people have office administration offshore? Someone in Australia can decide to employ someone in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, in India, in Indonesia, and they don't want them to come over. They are paying them. They are working offshore. A lot of people are working online as office administrator. So it is not a scarce skill anymore. Okay? The world has gone global. Even robots, even AI and so on are doing office administration. So the job is reducing. So this person is online searching for office administrative job in Australia and farm picking job applying, and he didn't get it. And he had the effrontery to go under a video and discourage thousands of people watching not to apply. I say no. Then after I've explained everything and I talk about the list of occupation and everything, I say, but they are not there. And the farmhand, you can never get a farmhand while you are coming from this place. Okay? So please mind how you make comment to discourage others. Something that is very hard for you could be easy for other people. But when you say, no, don't ever try it. I've done 1,000 applications, but you are applying for the job that is not there. You're applying for the job that is not meant for you. You're applying for a job that you have a skill that cannot sell you. Let me put it like that. Then you're discouraging other people. Okay. How to get a job in Australia? Someone said, help me. Do you know thousands of people that telling me to help them? Ma, please, I am a medical lab scientist from Ghana with 3 years, want to migrate to Australia. You do stand a chance. Medical laboratory, but there is an exam. I always say it. If you study something, health, okay? Health, science, there is always an exam. That is the implication. A carpenter with a trade certificate, okay, or a diploma certificate and experience can easily migrate than a medical lab scientist. Okay, medical lab scientist, for you to do skill assessment, there is exam involved for people that studied in certain countries. I don't know whether Ghana is included, but what you would do is this. Okay, list of occupation, I will drop it under this video, even not this night, maybe tomorrow morning, because it's really late. Okay, so go to the list of occupation, find your occupation. I always make this video and tell people, but I don't blame you. Some of you are new in my channel, so you haven't really grabbed this. Okay, so I want you to search this yourself. Okay, you can send me DM. No, don't send me DM. My DM is blocked. It's too much. I don't know where to even start. Make a comment under the video. That will be the easy way. Okay, if you have a question. All right, so when you find medical laboratory under the skill occupation, by the side of it you will see assessing authority. Okay, when you see assessing authority, what you will do is that click that assessing authority, click it. It will take you to the website, or you highlight it, or you click it, highlight it, and go to Google and put it there, paste it there, and it will bring you to the website. Now, when you go to the website, check for assessment for migration. Anything that talk about migration and assessment, click it. That is all you need to read. There is always step-by-step guide. The requirement, if there is exam, they will tell you. If they need English, they will tell you. Some of the assessing authority don't need English yet. It's only when you're applying for visa. Some of them will need, like nurses, you will need immediately. Okay? So, this question you're asking me now, yes, you are qualified for visa 491, yes, which is a temporary visa, which is 5 years. I'm not going to tell you to go and look for a job as a medical lab scientist, because it will be hard for you to find it, because you are not yet registered in Australia. You see the thing? Okay, that is the trick. But you can go through another visa that is independent visa, that you do not need a job to apply. This is what people are using. Visa 491. I'm going to make another video this week about visa 491, because some territories and states have opened up for 2023-2024 financial year visa processing. Okay, so visa 491, for someone that studied lab scientist or medical laboratory, is a sure. Once you go through skill assessment, you will get a visa. You will. Okay, don't go look for job. You will not, because you are not registered. So you see the trick there. When you say, I've been looking for a job, they will not employ you because you are not registered in Australia. But with a visa 491, you come over, you can decide to continue as a lab scientist, do the registration, or you can do anything. You are independent. You are not coming in with any employer. Okay? Yeah. So, for your visa, you must have a visa. You must qualify for a visa. Okay? Some people that are asking whether they can come through visitor visa. I've made video here and told you, Australia does not have a pathway to convert visitor visa. New Zealand has it. They have seasonal work employer, where you have to get a job, 6 months employment. You say, I studied production engineering I graduated earlier this year from school. What is Production engineering with no job experience, at least 2-3 years job experience. Production engineering, I don't think whether is in the list of occupation. I know there is mechanical, electrical, civil, and so on. But I want you to check the list of occupation and find your occupation there. Okay. For engineering, engineers from Nigeria is tricky. If you graduate from certain schools, they will, like FUTO and so on, there are some schools they will agree that yes, you have studied up to their own standard of 4 years. Okay. For some school, I have been applying for job in software development, but issues I have, they keep me saying no. Software development, that's the thing I'm telling you again. I will tell you, I'll come to you now. Okay. So how do I put it? I was saying something, I can't remember again. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll remember. Okay. Engineering, yes. So for you, you don't have enough experience to go through that process. You cannot get a job as an engineer because you have to register with Engineering Australia. You see the trick. So it's just like it has a organization, it has a body, professional body, like nurses and doctors. Okay. So as an engineer, you cannot get a work offshore unless you are registered with Engineering Australia. Okay. So the process, you will do skill assessment. They have to assess you. And engineers are qualified for visas, but I don't know about the production engineers. I know about civil, electrical, mechanical, and others, but production, I'm not sure. Can you check the list of occupation? Once you check it, click by the side of it that has assessing authority. Then you go to their website. You will be shocked the information you will grab from there. Okay, you will be so shocked. Okay, someone asked me, what visa would a caregiver go for? It's 482. If you're following me on this channel, you should know it's visa 482. It's visa 482. Visa 482 is employer sponsored. Everything is easier there, but the thing is that you must get a job, and that is where Australian employers, the only 2 organizations that have signed a memorandum of understanding with the state, with the government, to bring overseas trained caregivers. They are full. Other people are not doing it because now they are using student to fill up this gap, but there's still scarcity. But I don't know why they are holding back. Okay. All right. So New Zealand visitor visa. New Zealand visitor visa, people are crashing on it, people are cashing out. You just need to do a good application. And the good thing is that most people, there is this page on Facebook. If you want to apply for New Zealand visitor visa, please go to Facebook and find that page, New Zealand visitor visa. Okay, just type it and find it. I'm also a member there too. You will see people asking questions. You see people do application, have a successful application. They will come there and say how they did their application. I made a video about that too. They will tell you all the information they supply, all the documents, how they supply it. Some people are really good. They have good hearts that when they go through something, they want to share their good news. Okay. So when you go search all this group on Facebook, belong to them. Okay. Request, if it's a secret group, request for them to accept you and so on. It will give you a perspective, an idea how these things are happening. Okay. All right. So for New Zealand visitor visa, people are doing it on their own. A lot of people are doing it on your own. You can do it on your own. You can have someone there to go visit, or you can go on holiday. When you go on holiday, you have to have your holiday plan. Everything has to be in black and white because you're going to supply this, including hotel booking, your itinerary, what you're going to do day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, whatever. You need to show all this proof. Okay. All right. So when you're applying for a job, please know whether you are the job you're applying for, whether your profession is supposed to have professional registration in Australia. If you suppose, it's just like you're not saying I'm looking for a job when you are not registered in Australia. But the employer, most nurses employer will help them to go through APRA registration. So that is another part of it. They will help you through your APRA registration. Then they will sponsor you. But something like engineering and so on, you need to go through that process. What about unskilled job in Australia? Can you mention that unskilled job? Because I've talked about unskilled job, but farm, truck driver, forklifter or forklift driver is not part of it. Forklift is not part of it. I keep telling you the truth. I will always tell you the truth. Okay? I'm not deceiving you. I don't gain anything from it. And I don't like giving people false hope. Okay? Like Canada, can I go to work Australia or those European countries, and where do I start? You haven't even met, you're a nurse. Are you a nurse? If you're a nurse, yes. Before everything, if you are a nurse and you want to migrate abroad, stop being lazy. Stop being lazy because you cannot jump. One thing is that you must write English. If you didn't study from UK, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, US. This is countries, okay? If you don't study there, you must write English if you are going to Australia, UK, all these countries I've mentioned. If you're going to any of those countries, you want to migrate to any of these countries, and you do not study in any of these countries, you must write IELTS. And that reminds me, if you're so scared of IELTS and someone wants to come and marry you because they want you to help them go abroad, tell them on time that you cannot write IELTS, so just go your way. Unless we go as me not being a nurse, when I get there I can do anything, okay? But if you want to go as a nurse from wherever you are to another country, there must be IELTS, and most of the time there is professional exam. In short, all the time, unless you studied in these 6 countries, okay? So if you're not ready for professional exam, then just zero your mind traveling as that. I think UK, as nurses can go as carers without exam, even in Australia, because the caregivers can come, nurses can go as caregiver. Then you have to get that job as a caregiver to come. But for a nurse, if you write exam, if you do the professional exam, get your IELTS, as a nurse, you can shoot as a permanent resident. I had a consultation with someone the other day from UK, a social worker, and the other one a nurse, and they got their qualification somewhere, some other developed countries in Africa, and the other one got in Africa and so on. But the thing is that they studied well and they have this experience and stuff. I said to them, you don't know what you have. You have stuff. You need to make a demand. If employer is coming, demand for permanent resident, you are qualified for it. Like, you need to demand for permanent resident. So that's why I'm saying, if you're a nurse and you want to migrate like that, you need to write exam. You must have your IELTS. If not, it's not possible. Just look for another option. Another option nurses are using is study visa. When they come over, they start writing the exam or they do conversion. Okay? But you cannot get conversion from offshore. So it's hard to get through school for masters. Can I be able to see job? I can do it to payments. Yes. But don't come and say, Jenkins, say you can see job. Someone said, okay, let me finish. So student visa, you come as a student, then you can do conversion, but you cannot get conversion offshore as a nurse, only when you come in. Some come with public health, masters in public health and something similar. Once they come over, then they will switch back to nursing, or they will do masters in nursing for registration. I made a video here in the beginning of this channel about 2 years nursing program, okay, for someone that already have a qualification. Someone say, if I come for master, will I be able to work and have money to pay my subsequent school fees, I assume? Yes. Excuse me, but don't come and say that Jenkins said. If you're a lazy person, you won't make it. If you come, you hustle like others. You know, when you need something, you hustle. You do 2-3 jobs, you hustle. You'll be studying. Studying abroad is not like studying in Africa or in Nigeria, or where you go to school Monday to Friday. No. Some study here is by correspondence. Some people that are studying here as international students, some of them go to school 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Okay, some other courses might be corresponded. That's something you have to do online. So that is the thing. Okay, so but what matters is that how many hours are you qualified to work? Okay, for example, in Australia, if you come to Australia as a student, what are you looking for? Go and look for job in aged care. You work limited hours. That's how the government make it. You see, that's why, because there is scarcity of carers, they said if you're an international student and you are working in aged care, you work limited hour. But if you are working in other places, you work 42 pay 2 weeks. Except during holiday, you can work unlimited hours. So go find job in aged care. You can find a second job or whatever, but let's have something in aged care that will guarantee you enough pay. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, so you can. All right. So the thing is that, first of all, I want to migrate to Australia. Please help me. The question is, which visa am I qualified for? With my qualification and experience. Someone say talk about unskilled work. I have talked about the unskilled works. I've talked about carpentry. You must have a trade certificate. I talk about plumbing, mechanic. Okay. I talk about where are they, chef. We talk about, don't tell me you are cooking, you are doing, you must have a qualification, because there is assessment in that chef thing. Australia is in dire need of chefs and cooks, but PAC accounting with 10 years experience, visa you can apply. I remember one of the Nigerian lady that came here with accounting, and it was even employer sponsored. Okay, you must do skill assessment. Accounting is in that league of professional assessment stuff, so you must do assessment. There are two bodies that assess accountants. Okay, so depending on your qualification, you choose which one that suits you. One will assess people that are chartered accountants, while the other one will assess people with other normal qualification. So when you go to the list of occupation, click accounting, and you go to there, you will see their assessing authorities and read through. That will guide you. So you're qualified for a lot of visas. But the thing is that, are you willing to do your skill assessment for you to get that sponsorship you need? Okay. All right. So let's talk about unskilled. That will be the last one we talk about. So let's talk about the unskilled job. I've made video here too about unskilled job. We talk about carpenters, plumbers, mechanics, and so on. But please, pastry chef, yes, and bakers, yes, they are in the list. Can you check the list of occupation? They are there to get direct care skill assessment. Check my video on how to do skill assessment for caregivers. Please, I've made a comprehensive video there. It will guide you. So it will take, many people have done it. It doesn't take time because it's a straightforward assessment. Okay. So these are the unskilled you can get so far. Okay. Okay. Why did I even touch this? Gosh. So carers too, carpenter, there are a lot of them, even technicians and so there is a lot of them. But please, drivers are not there, farm hand are not there, fruit pickers are not there, truck drivers and forklifts, they are not there. You will not get it. So that's not the kind of unskilled you can get. Even with visa 482, employer will not bring you over because it's not listed on the list of occupation. It's not there. I want Australian list of occupation to be your guide. Okay. Electrical engineer, I only qualify for 482 because I am over 45 years with 10 years experience, but 10 years experience with electrical. If you are under 45, I would say even go with technician. Okay. Sometimes you need to bring yourself down to get what you want. Just like I told someone that is an architecture to go to the an architect draft person or something, which is below, which is a diploma, but you have a 4-year degree. To avoid stories and stuff, you just step down and get what you want. I didn't get that. You said your wife is a student. Yes, if you are a dependent of a study visa, yes, you are qualified to work. Yes, you are under that visa. Okay, yes, you qualify. That's why some people come with people, family members, husband, wife, to work and make money. Yes, you're qualified to work. Okay. All right. I think that is taking us to the end of this video. It's going to 40 minutes. And thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I think we'll be closing. Unskilled job in Australia. I'm just from Uganda. I'm Julius. Yes, there is. Julius, we've been talking here for 40 minutes. Julius, you're not taking me back. Oh. You're not taking me back. All right. Okay, now I think that will bring us to the end of this video, and thank you guys, and we'll see you again. You can drop your comments under this video, okay? And yeah, I'll get to it. But for some of you on my inbox, please come on construction subsidy. Yes, I made a video. About construction subsidy. Go find a job. They need construction workers in Western Australia. Check my video on that, please. Go look for a job. You will get. Okay? They need. That's why when a government is giving incentive for something, is because they need it desperately. Giving incentive, subsidy for overseas people to come. They need it. Go find that job. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you again. More life to come. Okay? All right. Bye.